Hi, folks. We are back with another React hook. This time it is useEffect. Let's straight dive into the code. We will use the code we wrote for useState and build on top of that. We have a couple of constants at the top, which we will use to set state of the component. useEffect takes a function you defined as first argument. React will run this function or side effect after it has updated the DOM. With current implementation, this function will be executed every time component state updates, in addition to first time when component was mounted to the DOM with default value.
Okay, let's reload the page and see the output. We can see the console log from useEffect hook. Now if we click on the button to change the state of name, React will trigger a re-render and useEffect will be in action again. Every time we click on the button, useEffect function will be executed and we can see the console log. Okay, let me clear the console and then we can make further changes in the code. The useEffect will capture any side effects in this component at the moment. Let's demonstrate that by adding another button to change the state of city variable. We can just copy paste and change the button name and the setter function. So that will be set city this time, and pretty much doing the same what we did for city name to change the state of name. So if city is set to city 1, we change it to city 2, otherwise we set it to city 1. Cool beans. Let's save and see the change on the page. And our button should appear. As we can see, we have another button there to change the city state. Now if we click, we can see our useEffect function is getting executed again. So it's reacting and capturing the side effects of both state changes, which obviously we don't want at the moment. We can easily control this behavior by adding the dependency list here. So dependency list is basically a way to tell useEffect to capture the side effects for which variable. So we can put name here. If we mention name here, we'll see useEffect hook will be executed only when the name state changes, rather than reacting to city state changes as well. You can use any state type here. Could be an object, an array, or array of objects, or just plain string or numbers. So dependency list acts as a gatekeeper to execute this function. Only those people can enter who are in the dependency list. Okay, let's save and reload, and we can see the initial one. If we click on city state, nothing is changing anymore. And we can see the console log if we change the name state. Clicking on the city button won't execute our useEffect hook like it was doing before. Now if we want to create a hook which only executes once in the component lifecycle, we can leave the dependency array empty, and this will only be executed once in the component lifecycle when component mounts. So you might see this log message a couple of times, but that's React doing something. But actually the code execution only happens once in the lifecycle. So for example, if we want to fetch some data from some of your API or services, and we set data on receiving the data from that API, and this function will only be executed once in the component lifecycle. You set the data and that's it. Obviously, we don't want to make this API call with every re-render because that'll definitely crash the server. You can also add tear down function inside this useEffect hook. So this function will be called every time or anytime your component is unmounted or removed from the DOM. You can clear event listeners here or any other logic you want to perform after component is unmounted from the DOM. Okay, cool beans. That sums up our session for useEffect hook. And we can wrap up things here. And our next hook will be use context, which is slightly more involved, and we need to go a little bit more in the depth of that hook. Do check out other videos on this channel, and don't forget to click on this red subscribe button. Thank you very much.